Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and amazing week. My name is Effie and today I thought I would just do a nice easy spring look. I'm only going to be doing my eyes in this video, but you will see the full face at the end. It's only because I want to film the rest of my base for a different video, and that will be the next video that goes up, and that will be a back to basics video, and that will be looking at powder, blush, highlight and bronzer and contour. So all of that will be in the next video, but you will see the final look here in this video if I remember. Fingers crossed. But yeah, in today's video we're just going to be doing a nice spring eye look. I'm using the BEAUTYBAY Bright Matte palette because I know that a lot of people either have this or will have similar colours or sort of can get this, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm saying. I haven't filmed properly in a while, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, if you want to see the eye look, sorry that it's not in the intro, you'll just have to follow along and see if you like it at the end and let me know in the comments. But yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, please do just keep on watching. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. The button is just down below and it's completely free. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Drop me a comment, let me know how you're doing. All good things, all good things. Let's get on with it because I clearly don't know how to do intros anymore. As always, we are going to start with an eye primer. I'm going to use the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer in shade 2 Porcelain. If you struggle to get pigment or you struggle with like textured eyelids, greasy eyelids, I know that can happen, try using an eye primer. Just see if it helps. It doesn't have to be this one, you can get quite a few, but I do really like this one, and I think it's only like £3 or £4. And it gives you such good coverage on your eyelid. My eyes are primed and now let's look at the palette. Obviously this is a fully matte palette. I picked this one because it sort of has everything I kind of need. I know a lot of people will sort of think spring yellow. I love the colour yellow, I truly do, but I'm not going to do yellow. I was hoping to go for a bit more of like a lighter pink, peachy sort of look. Turns out I don't actually have any palettes really that I can think of that have that colour scheme. So instead we're going to go pinky purple. It's going to be mainly pink with just a little bit of purple to help deepen it up. That's all, please don't panic. But yeah, I'm going to make a start. I'm going to do one eye on camera, one eye off camera as always, and I'm going to start with this colour down here, which is called Living for Lavender. We're using a small pencil brush and we're going to start this on our outer corner. And I'm not going to take this all the way through my crease. I'm really going to stop it about 1/3 of the way into my eye. So realistically about like here is where I'll stop the colour. Now if you're working darkest to lightest, which is what I'm going to be doing today, you want to start by really packing on your pigment and getting the colour there. And then afterwards you can go through and work on the blend. There we go, colour is packed on. In case you couldn't guess, I have no idea where this look is going to go. But next I'm taking a still fluffy brush, but it's almost like rectangular, a bit more flat, a bit more flat realistically. Like if this is a regular fluffy brush, it's kind of like rounded. I want one that's a bit more flat so that I can go around the edges. And I'm going in with this shade here called Tutu, which is sort of a slightly lighter pink. These are more brighter pinks. I am keeping it slightly lighter than I normally would. And like I sort of said, this shade will go round the edge of that lilac shade. And again, I'm just sort of patting it on, getting that pigment where I want it. I'm going back in with just a tiny bit of that Living for Lavender shade just to sort of bring it back in a little bit. But again, I will go back through all my shades at the end. Now again, I've picked another sort of flat, fluffy brush, but it's slightly bigger than the one I just used and slightly fluffier. And I think that is important when you're working darkest to lightest. You want to go from your most dense brush to your fluffier brushes and then blend out using fluffy brushes. I will say, you don't want to go too fluffy because then it will take over everything, but getting slightly bigger is okay. And this shade I'm going in with is Sweet Tooth, which is a very pale pink. And exactly the same, we're just going to go all the way around. As you can see with that shade I used before, I sort of stopped it about 2/3 of the way into my eye. This shade is going to go all the way in to my inner corner. and then around the other shades. And there we go. Those are all the matte shades I'm going to use. Now, as promised, I'm going to go back through those shades and blend them. However, the trick is, what I'm going to do now is take slightly fluffier versions of the brushes that I originally used. So I'm just picking some out. So instead of using the pencil brush for my purple shade, I'm going to use this brush. This is the Real Techniques, I don't know what it's called, but I've had this brush for ages, and it's a really small, fluffy brush, but it's slightly fluffier than the pencil brush. And then instead of using this brush, I'm going to switch to this one, which is actually very similar to the third brush I used, but I'm just using a different one to sort of show the difference. But as you can see, it's still flat and still fluffy. This is the BU Beauty Universal Base brush, so as you can see, it's just slightly fluffier. And then for my third brush, this is the one that I've just used, I'm going to go in with a sort of generic rounded fluffier brush so that I can disperse product a little bit better and get that blend going. So again, starting with that Living for Lavender shade with the fluffier brush, I'm just going to start by re-intensifying the colour I have and then blending it a little bit bigger than it originally was. And I think that's a good tip for when you're working darkest to lightest, is start smaller than you intend to end up, because when you go back through and blend, everything will sort of spread out a little bit. Then on to my next shade, Tutu. If you can hear my washing machine, I am really sorry. And the trick with this blending portion is you do want to be going back and forth between your shades to sort of get that blend perfect. So I'm switching back to the lilac shade and then back to Tutu. And again, that Tutu shade is spreading out a little bit further. It's almost fully in my inner corner now, but not quite. And then to my lightest shade and my fluffiest brush, I'm really just using this to sort of diffuse the edges right all the way around, just to soften it up. And once I have my base on, I will probably go back in with this shade just to make sure that none of my foundation has covered up the colours that I'm using. And again, back to a bit of Tutu just to help blend. It's very back and forth, and obviously you don't have to put this much effort in, but if you really want that blend, just be patient. And back to that lavender shade, which I feel like looks a little bit patchy on my eye, I'm not gonna lie, but oh well, it's okay. Back to Tutu. And then finally back to that lighter shade. I will say, every time I'm picking up the brushes, I'm not necessarily dipping into more product. I'm simply just using what was left on it to sort of soften those edges. And it may look like I'm blowing this out really far because my brush is all the way out here. There's not really any product on my brush, so it's just softening those edges that are already there. There we go. Very soft, very summery, very springy. I like it. Not overly impressed with that lilac shade that's gone very patchy on my outer corner, but that's fine. It is what it is. We live with these things. Now let me pick a shimmer. I've got my little acrylic drawer worth of shimmers, glitters, liquid stuff. My go-to is always the Lottie London Diamond Bomb. Just going to put that out there. But liquid glitters also work really well. This one's from Revolution. I have quite a few from Stila and Elf. And I'm actually going to use a mixture of two. So I have this one from Rude Cosmetics. It is the Star Party liquid eyeshadow in the shade Solstice, because it's purple. And then this one here from Revolution is the Eye Glisten Foil and Glitter liquid eyeshadow. I assume these have names, but I cannot remember them. But I'm using the liquid glitter side, the more pinky side. So I'll give you some tips on how I apply liquid glitter, I guess. When it comes to these ones that sort of come with an applicator, which most of them do, I don't like using the applicator straight up. I get a brush and take it off the applicator. Using my brush, I will pat it onto my eyelid. And you don't want to take too much, and you sort of want to do very, very small pat and drag motions. And as always, when applying a shimmer or a glitter to your lid, be aware of where your crease is, so basically where your eyelid folds, so that when your eyes are open, you can still see the glitter. So there we go, there is my purple glitter applied. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Revolution one. Again, I'm just wiping my brush off on like a towel that I always have on my lap when I'm doing my makeup, so I can use the same brush. Again, I've taken a little bit off onto the brush, and I'm going to mainly keep this to the inner corner. The same really applies when you're using a shimmer shade or a single glitter or anything like that. Use a brush, pat and drag, really small light motions. You don't want to be dragging your eyelid all over the place, but just enough to sort of disperse the glitter a little bit. And then what I always like to do is take my darkest shade, which is that Living for Lavender, and just pat a little bit of that just over the edge, just so that there's not like a really harsh line between the glitter and the matte, and then just ever so slightly through the top of that crease, just to define the shape again. And there we go. That's all there is to it. That is a really easy, simple, fun look. As always, you can recreate this in any colours you would like. I just think it's really nice and fun and springy. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, catch up the other eye, do my base for another video, and then I will come back and show you the finished look. But yeah, there we go. Hope you liked the look. It was super quick, super easy. I think I filmed this in about 10 minutes. So, and normally it would be a lot quicker because I wouldn't be talking and I would be doing both eyes at once. So yeah, super easy. Anyone can do it. Any colours, any glitter, shimmer shade, liquid glitter, liquid shimmer, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'll go do the other eye and my base, and I'll see you in a moment. Bye. I'm back a bit sooner than I was expecting. I thought I'd just quickly show you how I'm going to do my lower lash line. It's not anything difficult. It's not even anything interesting. I just thought I'd add it in. So I'm starting with a really small, again, it's one of those flatter rectangular brushes, and I'm starting with that first lilac shade, Living for Lavender. And again, I'll just show you on one eye. I start very, very close to my lash line, and as you can see, I'm pointing my brush upwards to get under my lower lashes and right up close, and I just drag that along. And again, I only really drag it to about halfway along my eye. And then the other tip is to really make sure it's connecting to what's on your upper lid. So the lavender sort of comes down and round so that it all fits together. And then honestly, on the exact same brush that I just dust off on my towel that's on my lap, I take the next shade, which was 22, tap it off. And this one, I want to bring it slightly further in to my lower lash line, and again still pointing upwards, but just sort of stamping it a little bit further in. And then you want to go slightly around that first shade, that lavender shade, and again marry it up to what you have on your lid. And then I actually do switch brush. I switch to a fluffier version and take that final shade, which was Sweet Tooth, on a fluffier brush, again still pointing upwards, still going around the shades that are already there. And then when I marry it up to what's on the lid, that's when I blend it back around to make sure that none of my foundation took it off, or it's not being covered by too much highlighter, and you really have that blend going. You know, maybe bring it back a little bit on the inner corner, And then you can sort of go through and make sure that you're happy with the blend of everything. So I'm just going to go back in with a little bit more of that tutu shade on that fluffier brush we used and just dust that around just to really intensify that a little bit. And then again, a little bit of the Living for Lavender shade, just because you went a bit patchy over here. Just sort of dust that around. And then just to really finish it off, just a little bit more of that final shade. There we go. Super easy, super simple. I personally really like having colour on my lower lash line. I could not imagine leaving the house without it. I understand that a lot of people don't like it. My advice, give it a go. Give it a try, see how you feel. You don't have to leave the house. You don't have to go anywhere. Just try it. See if you like it. Maybe try it a few times. See if you like it. I will say, when I was doing my base, I did put quite a lot of inner corner highlight on. I also have a highlight on my brow bone. The advice I give you on inner corner highlight is that I personally really like to take my inner corner highlight just slightly along my lower lash line. You can sort of see that it stops about here. That is just to really, really brighten up your inner corner. If you don't want to use an actual highlight, you can use a matte white or a matte pale colour. You don't have to use a shimmery shade if you don't want to. I personally like to, although it is looking a little bit intense, so just dab it over with my finger. That did nothing, it's still too intense, but it's fine. It's fine. But there we go, that is the finished eye look. I will now finally go and finish the other eye, my brows, a lip, and then we'll come back and we'll chat and we'll be done. There we go, that is the rest of my face finished. I really hope you enjoyed the look. I will sort of tell you, the lip I chose was the Bourjois Rouge Edition Velvet in the shade Velvet. I think it matches the eyes quite nicely. Let me know what you think of this look. I'm not a big fan of the mascara I used. It was the Mascara Revolution by Revolution. Didn't really like it. I might just stop using it, to be honest. It's not bad, it's not great. And I'm waiting for greatness. I also am not a big fan of my brows. Please ignore them. I need more face razors to shave off my ends, and until I do that, I'm having to live with this. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a lot more chilled out, a lot more relaxed than normal. In case you couldn't tell, I'm kind of struggling for ideas on what I should film. So if you have any, let me know in the comments and I will film it for you, because I don't know what else to do. There we go. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week. They are normally on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Drop me a comment down below, let me know what you think of the look, let me know what videos you want to see, please. But other than that, I'll let you go. Have a great day, an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!